I'm going to try something a little different. This is a little bit of water. This is from a sample on a roadside ditch in Jonesboro, Arkansas on April 3rd, 2025. We've been having a lot of rain, and I just happened to run into a store, grabbed something, and on the way out, I just grabbed a little bit of water in a tube, and we're just going to take a look at it. We're going to start with a 4x objective, do a full scan for anything wiggling or zooming that's kind of big. Then we'll go from 4x to 10x, 40x, and then maybe up to 60x dry. This is an LW Scientific i4. I do have the epifluorescence on it. All the objectives are infinity, and they're all dry. So we're just starting at 4x. This is not diluted in any way. It is just one drop. And actually, I did not have any of my little droppers, so I just used a regular drinking straw and put on a clean, not a new, unused, but a clean slide and cover slip. I've been looking at quite a bit of pond and water and stuff lately, and I don't know if it's because of the rain or whatever, but I'm not seeing as much as I expected, um, which is probably good. That's part of the learning. It's like beginning to get an idea of, you know, what I should or should not be seeing, and the quantity and stuff. And most of this water, I mean, it's not clear. It's kind of cloudy, a little bit mucky. I take it right from the edge as far as I can reach. I'm not going out in a boat or off on a pier or anything, getting out in the middle. I'm not going down at the bottom. I'm just walking up to the edge of a pond or a creek or whatever, or ditch, and just, reaching a foot over and taking some surface water. Just doing a quick high level scan, get an idea what might be in there. So now we'll go to 10x. Turn the light up a little bit, refocus. So I'm doing focusing with my left hand and stage manipulation with my right hand. And right now I'm looking through the objective, so the focus may not be perfect on the computer. Because for me to look at the screen and do this, I've got to look almost 90 degrees to my left, and also the microscope right now is just on a TV tray, so I end up moving it around a lot, and things kind of move when they shouldn't be moving. Pretty basic setup here, nothing fancy. I think that's just an air bubble right there. Just a bit of organic material of some kind, nothing crazy. And I mean, I'm not going to have any roots in here because, again, this is just surface water. It's not soil, it's not mud, it's not muck. We got something at least moving just a little bit right there. Remember, this is at 10x. or well 10x on the objective, which would be close to 100. It's hard to say exactly because there's always a little bit of variation between the objective and then the eyepieces and where the camera is. Be a smidge. So I kind of go by the objective, and then you can assume it's essentially 10x over that. So if it's a 10x objective, then you would assume in the neighborhood of 100x total magnification. If it's a 40x objective, then you'd be in the neighborhood of 400 total. Once in a while I'll stop, but for the most part at this point, not seeing any more and nothing really obvious. I'm just doing a quick scan. My stage is not perfectly level, so when I go from right to left, it seems like it's got a little bit of slope, so I have to continually do some little micro adjustments. And remember, sometimes this could be the actual fluid. This may or may not be the actual fluid. And then when I get up to this, you see those little streaks maybe? That's part of the surface of the cover slip. So you've got you've got the top of the cover slip, the bottom of the cover slip, you've got the actual material in between in the suspension, then you got the bottom slide. And as we get closer and closer, then even just the depth of the solution can have multiple levels. I'm by far not an expert. I'm just trying to gain more experience, trying to learn from those with much more training, much more experience. Sometimes they are formally trained. Some of them are self-trained citizen scientists that but I will learn from whomever seems to be competent and willing to put up with me and help me learn. And then I try to give back a little bit without muddying the waters and presenting myself as an expert, which I am not. Air bubble, some kind of organic or crystalline or mineral, something next to it. I would think it's organic since, again, this is from surface water and not from soil or muck or mud. And anything mineral, I would think, would fall out of solution unless it's running. And the water really wasn't moving. Up there in the middle on that streak, that might be a really large bacteria or something. You see that little thing moving right there in the middle? Part of the reason why when I'm looking through the objectives, I might have it focused really good and clear for me, but it's not so good on the camera, is I wear readers, and my readers right now are about 3 power. So basically, when I'm looking through the objectives, it's doing the normal magnification, but it's also doing the 3 power on top of that for me to be able to see clearly. And of course the camera doesn't need that extra 3. So the focus can be just a little bit off. So right now, if I look through the objective, this is perfectly clear. But a little bit of fine tuning and the camera, that's what I see when I had it there a second ago. Again, I could just look at the monitor and do it that way, but I don't have this set up so that everything's in line and real comfortable just yet. I'm working on that. Again, we are at 100 total or 10x objective. Just for grins, let's go ahead and jump down. This is going to be a 40x objective. Let me turn the light up just a little bit here. You see something vibrating there right in the middle? Probably going to snip this a little bit out and share with some of my cohort. Let's go to 60. See if I can find it again. I'm just making very little spiral keep down there, that little spiral thing down below it. I'm just making very slow focus changes just to kind of get different depths through this organism. And it could be that this is some kind of an amoeba or something of that nature, and that vibration, I might be very wrong. That could actually be like the mouth with a bunch of cilia, but the way that it's oriented, I mean, everything's not always going to be a side view. Sometimes you're looking straight down, or from the top, from the mouth, or from the rear end, or whatever. So that very well could be like an opening, kind of a mouth opening with some cilia that's bringing bacteria in to eat or whatever else it's eating. If you look real close in the surrounding area, sometimes you can see something kind of zoom by. So right there at the top, there's possibly a ciliate or something going up and down, because it's kind of fast. Again, we're at 60x or 600 total magnification, dry, infinity, objective. See a few ciliate or bacteria or something kind of zooming around at different levels. Okay, you can go back to 400 or 40x objective. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to engage the epifluorescence. I don't see anything glowing there. Nothing there. If it was glowing kind of yellowish and stuff, it might be a root with some phosphorus. If it was like a fluorescent red or green or some other color, then it could possibly be microplastics. Let's see, a bacteria kind of, something kind of flying around. It's not really fast enough to be a ciliate, probably. Ciliates sometimes are faster and more erratic. I'm not seeing like any testate amoeba, which would be an amoeba with a shell around it. But again, this is not a soil sample. This is a water sample. So that's kind of probably a ciliate sitting there going in circles. And again, we're at 40x 400 total. You see how he went out of focus real quick, so he went a little bit deeper or shallower in the solution, which is at this magnification is enough to go out of focus and need to be refocused. That may be some algae.